Good evening and welcome along to the final round for RPL Tier 2 Season 17. It is around Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil. This should be a good one. We already have the title decided for the Drivers' Championship. That has been wrapped up around early. Restainty the champion for a second time in the tier, fourth time in RPL. Beatnik confirmed the runner-up. There's a big battle for P3, but more importantly, there is a battle for the seventh time in the last 8 seasons at the final round for the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari v. McLaren. Ferrari last night in Tier 3 had a chance to win the Drivers' Championship with not Raz. They were unsuccessful. It went to Wilson on countback. McLaren, they started off with a major struggle. Not just this game cycle, but the end of last game cycle in the lower tiers. They have the fastest car, yet they were not able to end up doing what they needed to do. It took them a long time to win races again throughout the RPL tiers, and finally they did so again, and they were in championship contention for a little while. Well, now they are leading the Constructors' Championship, hoping to win their second Constructors' title in RPL Tier 2. For the longest time, it looked like the lower tiers, they were struggling, but right now, they're just 1 point clear of Ferrari, who are trying to win their third Tier 2 Constructors title. My name is Ryan Ocon, and tonight I am joined by Faded F1. Faded, it is good to have you. Last night's Tier 3 race was chaos. It was complete chaos. We saw Not Raz get on the podium once again, but that was not enough for the championship. Wilson, who had his academy teammate get a penalty, that assisted him the right way to win the RPL Tier 3 title. And besides all that, you had SV in front of Devon, who got a puncture, trying to get to the end. You had Resilience trying to win his first race, get a puncture. He was on pole, by the way, for the first time. He got a puncture. And this was a mixed condition race, pretty much. This was wet, full wets to inners, to dry, to rain the last 2 laps. So yesterday was full of chaos for the Drivers' Championship faded, where Devon won the race. Will we see something like that again tonight?
I mean, you definitely could. Sao Paulo's weather is, it's almost like Florida weather. So tropical here to where, you could get rain and then immediately it dries up, in about 8-10 laps. So if we see that today, we definitely could see drivers not holding on to their tires. Brazilians didn't hold on to them.
Dylan, SV,
Dylan
both
didn't hold on
McLarens.
to them. Yeah. But the case for these drivers here is that if it is a dry race into the entire thing, we could see a potential one stop from these guys.
That is very true. I mean, we did a race run here recently, faded, and the dirty air wasn't as effective as I thought it maybe would be, but we had a lot of battles, and even if it's a dry race tonight, we could see a lot of battles. It was this race last season. Liberal Fusion was going to win the race, but he only won it on track because he had a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's what ultimately ended his chance at picking up a first career win. He's won since then, though, for the first time and second time in Tier 2, but of course, you gotta know that you can't have mistakes like that, or else it's really gonna put you on the back foot. I mean, this circuit has become one of those that you have to watch the pit lane just because that limiter is earlier than what it actually appears to be.
Oh yeah, indeed. It is, I believe, a 50-mile-per-hour pit lane, but getting it slowed down because there is a bit of a kink in that pit lane. We'll see, drivers possibly getting a 10-second time penalty here. I've done it. We've all done it in the past. It's something that will lurk.
Yeah, for sure. And for our constructor's sake, faded, we have Fusion and Beatnik in the McLaren, Night Owl and Reese in the Ferrari. Ferrari have 2 titles. They've won theirs in the even seasons, season 10 and season 12. But McLaren, their titles have come in the odd number seasons. Only just season 15 they won it, and this is Season 17 of RPL, does that foreshadow something to come? And remember, McLaren are on the defense too, so they have to play this a little different compared to Ferrari.
Well, I mean, we are in that odd number era, 17. It's an unlucky number in terms of how numbers are played. You look at the number 13, there's already a phobia made for the number 13, trichodecaphobia. What about the number 17? I know you got to be looking at it and thinking Ferrari's chances of winning the Constructors' Championship hinders on fate, it hinders on their drivers, and it hinders on God himself making sure those Ferrari boys make it.
You gotta wonder, the start of the season, obviously Ferrari have had this car disadvantage. They are the third, fourth fastest car. Now, McLaren, you gotta think they could have ran away with this, and they maybe should have ran away with this. However, one of the things that was mentioned before the season started, Faded, was the lineup of Night Owl and Reese, how dominant that lineup was. Last game, Night Owl won the title, Reese won this title. So, because of them keeping the same lineup this entire season compared to McLaren go back and forth with Fusion, Beatnik, Fusion, Maxwell, does that give Ferrari the advantage here in this scenario for tonight?
Yeah, I feel like Ferrari's been more confident in their drivers, whereas McLaren, the only good driver that I've seen in that car, the only consistent driver that I've seen is Beatnik and Maxwell. I feel like Fusion was good and then has sort of fallen off. He's in this McLaren tonight, but hasn't shown much of that pace as Beatnik and Maxwell have. Of course, Blonde in that McLaren as well. Getting the win in Austria reverse. Those three have shown more of a fight, whereas Laryl has kind of played the layback card.
Yeah, I mean, his wins have come in the steward's room, so not anything to discredit him, but he has taken advantage of situations when it has not been his day. So I feel like to some extent you do raise a fair point. Beatnik won in Monza earlier this season, and that was a nice win for him. You said Blonde won in the reverse races. The reverse races were nice to watch this season. It was a bit of a little shakeup, but we are readying up for qualifying. There's a good chance of rain around here. We had a crazy qualifying session a few seasons ago here where Alex Norris took Haas's only pole position. Haas are going to take a pole position tonight. It's going to have to come from Tadpole or Lennon, who do have previous poles to their name. Tadpole, the season 7 Tier 2 champion. Lennon, previous race winner. There are also teams and drivers that are changing around next season. That's something else to remember. Remember, Reese, Beatnik, and F1 Union are not going to be in Tier 2 any longer next season. They'll be in Tier 1, whereas Bar2 and Jake Bandy for next Tier 2 season will not be full-time. They'll be in Tier 3. Part of the Tier 2 lineup for next season is as follows. Not Raz moving up. He'll be teammates with Mintoki at Mercedes. McLaren remain with Maxwell and Fusion. Red Bull have Penguin. Ferrari have Josh and Lennon. Alpine now has Dylan instead of R2. Devin will move up as well to Tier 2 for VCarb. Uriah and Night Owl at Williams. Haas have Midfield Maestro and AJ. Sauber have Tugra and Slasia. So those are all the confirmed ones that, as far as I'm aware of, that are in seats for next season. Some are having their goodbye races tonight, and it is very dark out there. Is there rain expected? That will be the big question.
There definitely could be. This is mostly clouded, overcast skies out there. Of course, I'm not Jim Cantori, and I'm not sitting out there with a blue Weather Channel jacket and an umbrella saying, "Oh, it's raining 100 miles an hour." No, I ain't doing that.
Well, I'm going to check Reese's stream, and I would definitely like to know from the drivers if there is any rain forecasted. Mally 41 tonight in the Williams. He is on a Mercedes contract for the evening. Jackster in the Sauber. He's been reserving quite a bit this season and might be full-time. I could be wrong. Rhythms as well. A second place 2 weeks ago in Tier 3. Got the penalty last night. Torn Penguin for Red Bull. We've not seen a lot of him in Tier 2. The wheel issues he had at the start of the season held him back. Devon's raced here in a Sauber before, but that was Tier 3. He is on loan tonight. RPL Zakaria for Aston Martin. Liro, AJ, Mintoki, Beatnik. Mintoki back in the Mercedes, by the way. Dropped down to Williams toward the end of the season, or toward the mid part of the season. Lennon and Haas. EXO in the Alpine.
Wow.
So, you Canadians are getting a chance to race this Alpine and race for this Academy, because Ardell is going to be in that Academy next season for Tier 3.
Ooh.
Night Owl in the Ferrari won the opening round. Dylan, aka Get Wrecked, in the Alpine. Reese, the champion, in the Ferrari. Blonde in the Williams. Tadpole in the Haas. And Yuvus Tugra has just joined the session. He will be our 18th driver to partake in the event. I'll have you right on board with our Season 4 Tier 3 champion and our Season 1 F1 champion, Mally41. Take it away.
Mally going up the gears as it stands at the moment. Let me pull up his telemetry data. Going into 5th gear, he's going to flick it up. He's going to use the ERS here down into turn 4. He's going to look at that car on the left. That's going to be a Red Bull. He's going to wave at him as he goes across. 5th gear up into 6th. 55% ERS for Mally41. Going to hold it into 7th gear. Flicking into 6th. Maximum RPM. And he spins. What a save. It was a half save, but Mally41 will not be happy about that. The Torn Penguin starting he's on his lap. Mally's going to get out of the way for him at the current moment. His Red Bull teammate going to get out of the way. That is Alan J. And a purple sector 2 for Torn Penguin. Now that he's going up into the start-finish straight with 8% battery, Torn Penguin sets the benchmark of a 7.5. Not ideal here for the Interlagos circuit. As Mally sets a 123, Lennon goes with a 108.3. Night Owl an 8.0. So maybe
Sauber starting. Nope.
Maybe Torn Penguin's lap was a good enough benchmark. EXO goes with a 108.3. Behind him is another Haas starting his lap. That's Tadpole. Mally on his lap half spun, saved the car, and then didn't save it.
Well, taking a little bit of time to get used to things once again, and validating is Mally41.
Yeah.
About to end the lap is Mintoki here, and she might get a little slipstream from the Sauber. The Sauber will get out of the way.
Indeed. Mintoki with
Boosting
almost half the battery pack.
Yeah.
She is a battery saver. Saw that in Las Vegas. But now up to the line, Mintoki goes second, 7.8.
Wow. Not a bad lap at all for sure, but still more to come. You see AJ going third. Where's Reese? He is in the pit lane. Beatnik and Fusion are starting laps. You said Tadpole moments ago is finishing one. Here he is. Getting a little tow from Night Owl, who's on a cooldown lap.
And I feel like with these guys working together and communicating with each other could boost Tadpole up to 10th.
Yeah, well, almost contact as he tried to get out of the way. That was close. Well, I mean, it does prevent him from being further down the order. We'll see who the others are to complete laps. But nice lap from AMS Devon, who no longer will be a Tier 3 driver after this event. Yeah, let's go on board with the vice champion, the runner-up, the 19th different runner-up in the, 20th different runner-up in the tier. We've had 21 different seasons, 4 back on F1.5. He's 17 now for Tier 2. Representing McLaren tonight for the constructors. Both have raced this car already this season. Got more movements. Got Rhythms up to 5th. Zakaria getting 7th on our board as well. That was Jackster clocking in a time. But we got Beatnik crossing the line for McLaren. In the silver McLaren, will it be pole, provisional pole? it will be P2. He has had pole positions this season, so he is very familiar up there. Wasn't before this season, but he is now.
Yeah, he's in that throwback Vodafone special livery. Looking very good.
Fusion is going to be finishing a lap here very soon. 51.6 in that middle sector as he crosses. He'll use all this battery to the line, and Faded, he will not be below 10% for a while here. That is why he's just going to continue to hold that button. Here we go to the line. Lyrial Fusion is going to be provisional pole. Brazil is one of his best tracks. You saw it last game, and it's going to repeat this game by the way things look. Lyrial Fusion, provisional pole.
Yeah, and here's the
Reese
thing
Dainty
about
starts a lap.
Here's the thing about the McLarens. Laryl is running the black and papaya livery, while Beatnik's running the chrome.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is
So he
that
did not open his
having an
mail
effect, I think?
and claim his prize.
Well, Reese Dainty, purple in the first sector. How is the second sector going to be displaying for the season 17 Tier 2 champion? He's been on pole quite a bit this season as well, and he also has the record for the all-time amount of poles in this tier alone. And we spoke about it last week, Faded, as Blonde goes 7th, good lap from the season 6 champion of this tier. But we spoke about it last week, Faded. If Reese wins tonight, he'll have the same amount of wins as that car number 48 this win would be. What an amazing sight that would be. But first, as we know it, qualifying, you gotta start well in order to finish well. And for Reese, he is 2/10 better than what Lyrial Fusion did to that second sector. This is going to be a monstrous lap if he holds it in the final sector. Look at this. 7-3, nearly 2/10. Clear is the champion of the tier.
Wow. I mean, a 10th. 2 9/10 clear about. No, actually, no. 10th. What? My brain is having an aneurysm.
We have others starting a lap and one on a lap. Devin is improving by a 10th in that first sector, and that's not bad for the Kick Sauber driver tonight. In between both Haas drivers, remember, on loan.
Big slide. Big
No!
slide.
Well, I speak good about him, but we see what happens once that happens.
Yeah, it's like the Beatnik curse from yesterday. Resilience saying,
oh, yeah.
Or Beatnik saying resilience won't get a puncture. Next second he does.
You're not wrong.
No.
And just a reminder too just a reminder a lot to folks as well. A lot of these races this season, from round 3 onwards, have been won from pole position, so it's just something to keep an eye out on as we continue through the night. Night Owl, 42 milliseconds better in the first sector. He's gonna have to back out of that one. That was a big moment as the car basically just slid sideways, and he had to go straight to correct the car at turn 6 over there. That is a tricky section, no matter the F1 game, Faded, whether it's for track limits, loose stability, side-by-side action. And we see that happen again tonight for Night Owl, is we're going to go to rhythms instead this time.
I feel like that corner was way worse last game in terms of losing the back end. You would try and go flat out through there, and your car would just be sideways, sliding into that wall there on the left, all the way over there. But I feel like this game, it's more tamed to where you can save the car in those moments and still, try and save your lap. But in that case for Night Owl, he couldn't.
Well, Rhythms validated. Zakaria is going to complete one.
Yeah, the other Aston Martin is up almost nearly a 10th and jumps Rhythms.
He hasn't shown a lot of pace this game, Zakaria, but I would like to see another chance for him in a top car eventually. He's another one who deserves it too. Exo had a good showing in Tier 3 a few times when he's raced this season, but obviously the results have not shown for it. We have AJ up by 700ths in the first sector. Mintoki is on a lap right now. We have Torn Penguin starting a lap. How about we go on board with the South Korean driver? We've not seen a lot about her recently. Not been racing as much. Racing the Williams, the Austria reverse race. She's taking a step back this season. This might be the first season, if she doesn't win tonight, in terms of the recent seasons, that she'd not won a race in a season. But things could change.
She's
second sector looks better.
Tenths.
Yeah. And she's had poles before. She was known for that in the most recent 2 seasons. 4 poles in season 15, 2 in season 16. Is it going to be a provisional pole for now? It will be the front row. How about that?
Woo!
We've seen a lot of lackluster, well, really, a lot of lacking moments from the Mercedes driver at points this season. But right now, that's a good one.
Put her in the car that she belongs. She delivers.
Melanie 41 jumps up to 10th. That's Dylan jumping up to 7th for Alpine. Beatnik is up by 500s. Who else is on lap? Torn Penguin has had an issue. He's backed off. Lyral Fusion will cross the sector split now, and he was the first one who shocked us by taking pole a bit ago, a 10th and a half up. Let's see if this tow he's about to get from the Haas driver makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it should. He has the most battery out of anybody down this straight. He's got to cross the start-finish line. Could he jump Reese? No, not yet.
Wow.
He lost about 800s.
Night Owl had to back off. Beatnik tried to pick up a tow from it. Go across the line now for McLaren. Will it be pole number 4 on the season for the American driver? It will be just the front row. He did. You know, for him, one of the disappointing points of the season was Spa. When he collided with Mintoki.
7 separated by half a second.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, look at the top 6. Those top cars. Blonde, who went to 8th moments ago, is part of the reason why we're talking about some of these drivers outperforming their vehicles. Dylan for Alpine, Blonde for Williams, Mally 41 tonight in the Williams on a lap.
Yeah, and he's did fairly decently in the first sector. He's going to flip it to none here, but keeping in 8th gear. He's probably just warming something up.
Yeah, now he's backed off compared to what he was doing. Gotta assume Jackster just completed a lap because he is battery. Up. Yeah, he is up from what he did before. 1.6 seconds off. 5 minutes to go in the session, folks. F1 Union not out there right now for Mercedes. A lot of drivers in their farewell races for their teams. For their academies as well. Faded, you know, there's a lot of drivers not returning. Even Reese and Beatnik not going to be in Tier 2 any longer after this. Same with Union.
Indeed. Going to be a sad sight to see. Make the most of it.
Make the most of it. And just to put things into perspective as well, the most poles a driver has had in a season was Reese's previous record with Hunt's record as well. That's a tied record. Season 10 for Hunt, 6 poles, 6 for Reese in season 4. If he gets poled tonight, he will equal his own record as well as the one Hunt had before. So that is why this qualifying session is not just historical for the sake of the constructors, but to also add on to his own legacy.
Yeah, and I do not want to put those 3 numbers together and say them at the same time.
That would be a bit scary.
That's double numbers.
Yep. Will getting the suggestion from Invade not to use Hot Lap because it is slower.
Indeed.
We have Rhythm starting a lap. I'll let you take this one. Yes, Martin driver.
Let me flip to him. Rhythm's going through the first sets of corners. Gonna flip it to overtake at this current moment. It's gonna go down the straightaway, opening that ERS, flipping it up immediately to medium, braking hard, throttle hard, back onto the ERS button. Is he gonna flick it up to 8th gear? No, maximum RPM into 6th gear. Drop it to 3rd. All the brake pedal being used for Rhythm in that set of corners. 50% battery. Flicking it between 6th and 5th, dropping it to 3rd. All the way up through the gears again. He has a good flow in these gear shifts. Does Rhythms. Purple sector 2.
Wow.
He's going to use all of the ERS. Burning it down this start-finish straight. Rhythms is on a flyer here. to 7th.
And that's probably the best he could have done right there, because look at the distance from 6th to 7th place.
Yeah. Nearly two
We
and a
have
half. Over
EXO
2.5.
up by 600ths in the first sector. After this lap, we'll switch to our drivers who are coming out of the pit lane from our top 6 positions. Penguin was already out there. Now here comes Night Owl, Fusion, Beatnik. They're all coming together. We have less than 90 seconds to go very soon here. And in that time frame, let's see the Twitch chat and what they have to say for our top 3 predictions. Who do you guys think will get on pole position tonight? We're going to have to see quite the lap to do it, because Reese Dainty is on top right now. It is EXO backing off now. So we'll go to Torn Penguin, who is starting a lap right now. Faded, take it away.
Yeah, through the gears. 8th gear. He's going to flick it down all the way to 3rd. You would have thought he would have held 4th gear there. But no, that's not the case for Torn Penguin. He's going to go through this long straightaway here. 55% battery. He's going to shut it off. He's in medium. He's going to wave to the car on the left. 4th gear. Slides a little bit.
Wow.
Flicks it into none. That's it.
Torn Penguin needs to make sure he can get back to the start-finish line to start another lap. It's Lure Fusion on a lap as well. Beatnik also following close to his tail. Lure Fusion, DRS applied. Now,
yeah, and he's going to flick it up into
Lago.
8th gear. 62% battery. He is down.
Beatnik is down. Mintoki, she'll cross the sector split. Is she down as well? There's a big improvement. Mally 41 7th. That's an amazing lap. Mintoki up on the time by a hefty amount. Yeah, is Lyra Fusion going to improve in the second sector now becomes the question.
Mintoki's first sector alone could push Reese off this pole.
And she was really the only driver who made some noise in that first sector compared to the others. Lyra Fusion is still down in that second sector. Beatnik is up though, and Beatnik has enough to do it. Checkered flag is out.
10th and a quarter up for Beatnik.
The times are improving. Yavuz Tugra 16th, Tadpole 14th.
Beatnik's boosting all the way into the start-finish line. Pole.
Beatnik, if he keeps it, it will be his 4th pole in the season. Mintoki is trying to get back on pole position. Mintoki is back on pole position for the current moment. Reese is up, and he's getting a massive tow from the teammate of Night Owl. If he can get this pole, it would be 3 in a row. Look at the tow for both Ferraris right now.
Oh my goodness.
One of them is on a cooldown lap. One of them is trying to go for pole position and defend it. Reese Dainty crosses, it goes back to pole. It's 3 in a row, and it's number 19 for Reese. If he can keep it. If he can keep it. Because Torn Penguin and AJ is still to go. Can Red Bull disappoint them? Torn Penguin
can't.
Torn Penguin? No. Torn Penguin finds time, though. And you said AJ can't. He cannot. It is going to be Reese Dainty. 3 in a row. And at a time they need the most. For the sake of the constructors, they are on pole. Ferrari are. And Reese captures pole number 19 in Tier 2.
Holy.
6 poles on the season. This is the same amount he did back in Season 4, and it equals the record. We had 11 drivers in the 7s. That's how tight this qualifying session was. Let's just shout out some other drivers as well. Mintoki's not raced in a while. She's 2nd. Torn Penguin, we've not seen a lot of him in this tier this season. He's 4th. But how about Mally 41, a previous champion, in 8th? Teammate Blonde in 11th. Dylan in 10th for Alpine. Rhythms in 9th. And even Devin ahead of some drivers there in the Kick Sauber. He'll be full-time Tier 2 next season. So a good showing from all those drivers. But now it's time to get to the race. Time to get to the main thing. We'll see who does what there.
Celebrating that he's not last. That is a good thing. You want to be faster than the next guy.
Well, here are your full qualifying results. F1 Union only gotten 1 lap there, down in 17th.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksta, he's had his good days, he's had his bad days, and today is just really sucky.
He's not won in a while as well.
Yeah. To start the race in Sao Paulo.
Well, is there going to be rain now becomes my question, because it was a very cloudy qualifying session. I'm looking on Reese's stream now to see if there will be. Remember, there is a time that the drivers are asked to ready up by, so we will have a moment to see it, and the strategy as well. Twitch chat, who is your money on for this event? Is it going to be Reese winning from pole again, or will it be someone else? It is looking to be a two-stop, and it is a fully overcast race, so no rain expected, but we are going to be sticking with these cloudy skies for the whole event.
Maddie's saying it could be a beatnik win. Invade obviously being biased towards Reese Dainty there. We're just waiting.
We are, and I'll give us a little countdown when they ready up
Josh
too.
has said my name.
Faded is going to win. That's what he thinks.
Oh, I'm going to win. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Just remember as well, folks, McLaren lead this Constructors' Championship into the final round tonight, 1 point clear of Ferrari. Let's see where they start. Reese on pole. Night Owl down in 7th. McLaren 3rd and 5th. Here are the tires they currently have hooked on the car. Faded, what do you think lap 1 is going to provide? We've seen chaos before here. Season 9 of Tier 2, we saw a collection of cars down at Turn 3 in Calamity. Turn 1 gets chaotic too.
Wings could fly off in Turn 1. You know, you could have someone absolutely just be a dummy and cut somebody off, maybe brake a little too late, kind of hit somebody in the back, create a little domino effect. This is not sponsored by Domino's Pizza, of course, but yeah, anything that can happen will happen, and you could see a little touching, banging, blowing.
The drivers have been told to ready up. We are about to get a countdown going, but I really wonder, is anybody going to challenge Reese from pole position down to turn 1? Will they wait till turn 4, or will they play the long game here? Because some drivers are starting on hards, others are starting on mediums. And by the way, the last 3 races here in this tier have been won from pole position. 5 of the last 6 have been won from pole position. And just a reminder, McLaren have 4 wins, Ferrari have 5. So if it goes to count back, that will be important later on. The 5 red lights are coming on for the final time this season, and a title decider for the Constructors. It is lights out, and away we go. Mitoki had wheel spin, so that's going to allow Beatnik to stay alongside. Reese is far and clear into turn 1 as he leads the event. Penguin side by side with Fusion, a little contact there, contact further back. That's cars
Dylan.
like Dylan falling down the order. Tadpole as well losing places. But now we go to turn 4 where Reese is pulling out and trying to break the toe. He will. 3 wide further back. 3 rows deep. Many cars and a kerfuffle here all the way to turn 4. We're riding aboard Blonde, the season 6 Tier 2 champion, as he has a little wiggle. He's trying to defend some places. The 2 Sabbers are going wheel to wheel. That's Jackster and Devin. But now everybody gets tucked back in, single file, and it looks to be a very calm lap 1 other than Dylan basically getting wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan, he was on course to potentially get points in this race by how he qualified, but now he's got to do recovery mode to gain back on this field. Reese has opened the gap to about 0.6 of a second as the field is single file.
And that's just straight up incredible, Faded, because he is on hard compound tires. Him, Rhythms, Yavuz, Tugra, Devin, the only ones on hards. Union on softs, the remainder part of the field on mediums. Mitoki is trailing the Ferrari, but only just. And Union gets by Zakaria on the main straight.
Mitoki's going to be on better tires to start this race in the first phase. A little bit of a nudge.
Exo got in the back of Zakaria. Here's Exo challenging Zakaria.
Yeah, he's going to look for it. He might pull to the left of him. Yes, he does.
Zakaria's pinching. Zakaria's continuing to pinch. Contact down to turn 4. Zakaria with touching Exo hangs on.
Zakaria, known for pinching drivers. You saw it in Austria reverse. You've seen it here today. He just can't stop doing it.
Fusion has a little bit of a problem right there. He
Mally,
gets out of control, and there goes Mally, even further out of control, dropping down the order. Had a moment down at turn 7, and is now dropped outside the points and inside of his teammate.
whoa.
Oh, there goes Yavuz Tugra. He clipped the grass, and he's facing the wrong way.
Gets it backfired, though.
Mally 41 with yet another moment. What's going on for the Season 1 Tier 3, or Season 1 F1 champion, Season 4 Tier 3 champion right now of Mally 41. Never won in this tier, and right now, Mintoki's grabbed the lead from Reese. Fusion gets Penguin. Now Penguin gets back on Fusion. With Reese losing the lead, this could definitely change the complexion of this Constructors fight right now, because Reese would only be on 18, while Night Owl's already been on 6 points. As if this race were to end, and Reese will re-grab the lead. Here goes Fusion with Penguin, AJ in this fight, Night Owl in this fight. Night Owl knows these points are critical for Ferrari's championship hopes. Remember, they came out today faded 1 point back, and right now, if this race were to end, Ferrari would be 1st and 7th. I mean, that's better than what they were about 30 seconds ago, but just remember, that's 32 points for Ferrari, or sorry, 31 points for Ferrari compared to McLaren right now, earning 27, and there's more yellows. That's Yavuz Tugra. If that were to be the case, Faded, Ferrari would barely win this championship, but they cannot lose the lead again with Reese, because if they do, then advantage McLaren.
Yeah, I mean, Mintoki, when she took the lead, was hard on the brakes into turn 1. Will she try this again? She's 6 tenths back, so I think she's, very far to try it in turn 1. Probably going to wait until that long straightaway to try and deploy at least some of that battery pack on Reese Dainty.
She's deploying the battery now. Blonde leapfrogs himself ahead of EXO, but right now, yellow flags, that is Jackster. Jackster in trouble.
In the wall.
Night Owl saw an opportunity on the inside of AJ, but decided not to go for it. Night Owl playing the patient game right now, and you can understand why, for the sake of these points.
Yeah, you're going to have to at this track. This track requires probably the most precision in terms of the track's layout. It's so flimsy. It's so curvy to where the point of, making sure you're staying within track limits has to be at the forefront of your driving abilities. As Reese has piled away to a 4/10 lead.
Here goes Penguin.
AJ.
And AJ swapping. AJ is ahead of Penguin, but they have lost DRS to Lyra Fusion. Will Night Owl get desperate now? There goes Penguin getting defensive.
Indeed, and Night Owl's pretty much just got to stay behind these guys, try and catch up to that train of
that was
the
a nice little dive bomb from Blonde, by the way. Blonde took the place.
Indeed, that's for P10 on the RPL Zakaria.
AJ's caught back up this train, Faded, so that does help Night Owl. Whatever happens here with these Red Bulls will determine the second Ferrari's race, and we know how vital that will be if Reese does not win this race tonight in Sao Paulo.
Indeed.
2 different trains, 1 to 15th from 8th, 1 to 7th from the lead. And remember, Reese is on a different game because of these hard compound tires. The others on mediums, he will be playing this a little bit different compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah, and you got to think Rhythms and Devin are going to play that same game on the hards as well.
All right, so let's look at this. Mintoki's back 7/10 at this straight. Will she gain anything critical in the turn 1? The gap is down to about 4/10, so 2/10 right there. Nothing too serious, but Blonde gets Union for 9th. So Blonde gaining some places back. Union as well in the softs, trying to hope for some way to gain places back from that terrible qualifying. Here goes Mintoki ducking out and taking back the lead once again, swooping in front of Reese. Reese back down to 2nd. Mintoki back to the lead, and Mintoki is trying to win a race again in another consecutive season. Will tonight be the night after her disastrous season so far? Reese right now being in 2nd place and Night Owl being in 7th means that Ferrari would only have 24 points compared to McLaren's 27. that would not be enough right now if Ferrari want to win this Constructors. And that's only if it were to end right now. This is only lap 6, so of course a lot can happen in the next 30 laps.
Oh yeah, definitely could, but Mintoki's tires have to be nearing that graining stage at this rate. She'll be trying to save tires up front, but I don't think it's going to pay off.
The batteries are being touched right now. They're on the overtake buttons. Down to turn 1. Reese is approaching Mintoki, and now Reese is going for it on Mintoki. Reese takes the lead back on Mintoki and just cuts off the South Korean. So again, under this scenario, Ferrari would win the Constructors at this present time. Mally and Devon are swapping places down in the midfield. Let's take an eye on that. Mally and Devon, 2 rivals in Tier 3 a time ago. There was also Union and Blonde who were racing moments prior. I don't think Union wants to go for an Academy teammate this far into the braking zone. He doesn't. But nice little calm battle here. You know, nothing too scary, nothing too risk-taking, but just swapping places here, trying to get everyone in a little bit of a rhythm. Speaking of rhythms, he's the one falling away from
3 seconds
7th place,
back.
but pulling away from 9th. So this race is forming into a few different races now instead of just 2 different trains. And
Indeed,
Torn
Night Owl
Penguin
gets Penguin.
has a moment.
Oh.
Torn Penguin has a moment. Night Owl gains the place.
Oh. Wonder what happened.
But this has lost Night Owl DRS, so Night Owl, he's realized that. He's boosting to try and gain back up to AJ. Got to think as well, AJ, who got a podium in round 7 as Union is in. AJ, who got a podium at round 7 and also was strong last week. Could this be a race where he's quiet and somehow gets himself the win? But he needs DRS back if he's going to do that.
Indeed.
Union already in mediums. Interesting there, Johnny. Interesting. He is
Yeah,
going for
'cause
a
I don't
clear and
think-
cut 2-stop.
Yeah, because I think he could go soft, medium, and be okay. But I do think Union just screwed himself by starting on softs.
Well, it's just too much of a risk, but he is trying to make that risk pay off here at the back of the field. The Jackster knows his race with Union here is not going to be long. 6/10 the deficit between Mintoki and Reese. 70% from Mintoki, 60 from Reese, 86 from Beatnik.
Yeah, and he's burning it as well. They all are.
Night Owl's going to get DRS and AJ. He just made a slip up there into the last braking zone, so Night Owl advantage to him again.
Yeah, indeed. Gonna use the DRS. Try and gain some time going into third one.
7/10 from Mintoki. Burning that button. Reese is down to 10%.
Mally goes in and slides.
Yeah, he's got to be careful that pit entry. I think everybody knows it.
And
Someone
he
will
is
have
okay.
flashbacks to last season as Fusion when he pits. What tire are we looking at for Mr. Mally? Hards. Dexter's into.
So definitely a 2-stop for Will then.
Dexter on 8-lap mediums is going to switch to the hard compound.
Hooray.
Mintoki's reeled Reese back in. 4/10 now before we get to the last braking zone. But Reese has charged up more battery in this middle sector.
Yeah, they're about to equal on the battery. They're deploying it.
Now they are. Well, he's put Mintoki back in a dirty air here. Entering that final corner, it caused a little bit of a slip up from the South Korean, but will that matter? Come turn 1, Mintoki's gaining, and staying behind. Torn Penguin's in. Is this early faded, as you were saying about Mally? Maybe being a 2-stop, being this early. Here goes Mintoki. Mintoki going to the right side. Reese defended the inside, and Mintoki backed off of that one.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Try to get alongside, just not enough of a gap, but look for it though. That's going to show bravery.
Zakaria lunge on Exo, gets the move done. AJ's losing critical time to the top 4, so that has put Night Owl further back. Night Owl 3.6 seconds back from just a chance of DRS on Fusion, if you think about it. AJ, who's 3.8 seconds now back on Fusion, is definitely hurting his race. You could see a slide again from AJ, and it's also allowed Rhythms to catch up too. So definitely a race where Reese is going to have to do a lot more than anticipated. And you could just see already Reese is trying to push to get Mintoki out of DRS. He has. So now, will Mintoki be vulnerable to Beatnik?
You would have to think so. I mean, without the DRS of Mintoki, Beatnik.
Oh, no.
Oh, AJ.
Speed's in the pit lane. 10-second penalty for that. I was just going to say,
His
Fusion,
bad luck
AJ,
continues.
Night Owl, they're all in. But yeah, that's unfortunate for AJ.
Beatnik with the DRS gained a little bit, not too much.
So now you got to think. I know Mintoki is over what happened at Spa. I know Beatnik is over what happened at Spa. It probably still will haunt them regardless, as good as friends as they are. But in this scenario, compared to Spa, Mintoki's got to put the team first. If Beatnik is faster, you let Beatnik by in this sense, because if McLaren have this title on the line for them, and they have a legitimate chance, which they are, they're the ones defending Ferrari, then McLaren have to get the advantage here instead of just putting pride first, like we saw in Spa. Mintoki got roughed around the wrong way, took it back on Beatnik. We know how that ended, but right now I think you got to know that Reese is in.
Reese is in.
Whoa, this is early.
Is this to counter off these medium guys pitting?
I would have to think that's not the case, though, just because, surely not, just because Hards only going 11 laps raises a major concern for me. Back onto Hards for Reese. But the thing I was going to say about Mintoki and Beatnik here for this situation they're in, you know, if Mintoki feels the wrong way about Beatnik, this is a sense where compared to Spa, you settle it after. And I think they're going to do that because right now Beatnik's getting pulled along, which is a good thing.
I am scrambling in my notes trying to think of why Reese Dainty would hit in this situation. I'm going through all of the tire strategies and nothing says he was likely going to do hard, soft, medium. I have no idea. This is out of the bag of tricks for Reese Dainty.
Hard, medium, maybe, considering Beatnik and Mintoki are still staying out. Tadpole lets Reese go, and will we see Tadpole now play the team game? You saw Lennon just let Fusion basically by, but only on the outside line there. And the big thing from this pit cycle is that Night Owl has jumped Penguin, and here goes the team games. Tadpole backing up Fusion. We knew with the constructors on the line, Haas, we're going to try to help Ferrari against McLaren as much as possible, and you could see that costing Fusion a second now.
Yeah, this is huge.
Reese gets by Devin. Fusion now going the long way on Tadpole. Tadpole now lets him by. But the gap and the damage has already been done.
Oh yeah, Tadpole did a service.
And you know, I must say, Beatnik does not have a lot of pace right now. I would hope with this dirty air that it's not affecting his tires too badly, but I would hope for Mintoki's sake that she's just simply pulling Beatnik along for the sake of Beatnik's race, because at this point, you've got to think for Beatnik staying out as long as he has, the tires going as long as they have, he's going to be coming into the pit lane soon. And the only thing to kind of hold his pace with a bit of hope, I should say, is a bit of pulling along when you don't really have the pace. And Tadpole lets AJ go. Gotta let Night Owl go here. He does. But just at a very costly part of the track. And finally, Mintoki's in. So, Beatnik. Oh, crash! Yavuz Tugra! Safety car! This is going to change the race because Beatnik has not pitted for McLaren.
Beatnik has got to be banging his steering wheel in absolute anger. That is...
surely happiness. Surely happiness, because at this point, his chance of...
I wouldn't think this would be a good scenario.
I would have to think it could be faded, because right now, with the free safety car, he's only going to come out behind Fusion. I mean, no one else is going to jump him at this point. You don't have anybody else like Devin or Tadpole to hinder him.
I've just been sent an encrypted message by Josh saying medium, hard, medium, medium, and medium hard would be the common strat.
Yeah, I would have to think so as well, but at the same time, for Reese to pit as early as he did does concern me.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll get the help of the safety car, but We'll see if it matters in the end.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say with Beatnik, he's able to go free and not have any dirty air affect him. You know, Mentoki was in front of Beatnik. You got to think, you know, was Mentoki trying to pull along Beatnik? Was Mentoki thinking only about her race? What was going on between those two drivers who were on their own out in the front, and Beatnik had yet to pit? You know, surely you're not considering a safety car, but now it's played into Beatnik's hands. And where will he cycle out here? Surely he's only going to be behind Reese at this stage. Maybe Fusion.
Maybe.
It'll be ahead of
with a good
Mentoki.
question, saying when was the last safety car in Tier 2?
When was it?
I think it was Austria Reverse.
Yes, it was Austria Reverse 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago.
3.
We don't have one at Vegas. Rhythm's in, Beatnik in, but because of where the timing line is, watch this. Beatnik coming out of the pit lane now. Torn Penguin gets a penalty under the safety car for track limits, and Beatnik, surprisingly to what I thought was not going to happen, he'll be behind Night Owl and Mentoki.
Oh boy.
So maybe your point was right about banging the steering wheel in frustration. Devon might play a factor. Exo might play a factor. Medium compound for them. AJ pitted again. He is on hards now and down outside of the points. Right now, Ferrari would win this Constructors with being first and fourth, but you gotta wonder, Reese not gonna make the end, surely, and not only not gonna make the end, but has to pit for a different compound at this point. Sometime soon. Just a matter of when.
I am bleeding for some reason. Hold on. Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. Mally was Season 2, you're right. The Chiller was Season 1. My apologies. I'm just reading the chat now. My apologies. Second stage dementia. Yeah, I mean, Maddie made a good point. Dylan back in this race. So Dylan down in 12th to get wrecked. He had an incident on lap 1 last week in Zenboard that sent him out of the race this time. As you said, faded earlier on, going to have to pull the recovery drive. At least has a chance to now with the safety car. He was out of the race last week, not out of it this week, but he does have a legit chance.
Yeah, sorry, Ryan. I was cleaning something.
All good. But I think Invade makes a fair point. If Reese stayed out there longer on hards, he would have had a fair advantage compared to pitting when he did, and that seemed questionable. But was he just simply trying to not get undercut by the drivers around him? I've got to wonder with that sense as Dylan saw him wiggle onto the safety car. Safety car should be coming in either this time or next time. Mally 41 went back in to go on to hards. So that is also something else to take into consideration, considering where he was at. Yeah, the safety car definitely changes things. Surprise, Beatnik came out behind Night Owl and Mentoki. That must have been a major undercut from Night Owl compared to where he was, because he would have been 7th or 6th. He is now 4th in this race. But live standings as they run for the Constructors. Ferrari scoring 37 points right now compared to McLaren only scoring 28.
Yeah, this would be
like a 9-10 point swing.
Yeah.
And also something else to consider, into this race it was Fusion who was running 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. He still remains in 3rd in the championship for the drivers, but if a slip-up happens, Night Owl will be there to take it. Even if a bigger slip-up happens, if Blonde somehow finishes up there, he can also take 3rd as well in the drivers. Maybe 4th if Night Owl has trouble occur.
You gotta think Mentoki and Beatnik could potentially go to the end. Possible.
Yeah, Mentoki and Beatnik might be the only two who could. And also, Torn Penguin might look to get that 3-second appeal. He got that under safety car conditions. So that could be sent into. Something else to watch out for is Exo and Devon on medium compounds on this restart. Everyone else is on the hard compound. Are they going to have to pit again for a different set, or going to have to go to the end? And right now, the safety car is coming in. Reese Dainty in control of the pack. Let's make sure he does not go below 37 miles per hour, the pit lane speed, which would get him a penalty.
Yeah, he's riding around at 70 at the moment. Weaving and bobbing. Keeping it at a nice speed.
Reese Dainty sees the safety car peel in the pits. This is his cue to go, and he will be going at the very last moment. Fusion trying to pull alongside. You can't do that, but Reese Dainty will go now. Back to green flag conditions. Back to racing we go. Here's Night Owl already on the inside of Mintoki. 3 wide right there. Night Owl with bravery to the inside of Bull. Side by side. Night Owl will get 2 and 1. It's a Ferrari 1-2 on the road.
Holy, this is brilliant. Come on now.
Fusion wants to go back at it. Will he have a go? He'll go down the inside and sneak a peek, but won't go for it in the braking zone. This is incredible action on the restart. You saw Night Owl catch Mintoki off guard and then caught Fusion really off guard right there.
Oh, yeah, he definitely did. 1.2, the gap between the Ferrari lads.
Look at the racing in the midfield as well. Exo pinching Blonde. Blonde gonna go the long way around at turn 6. That was incredible. How did he hold that car the long way around with barely any space to spare and make the move work? You want to talk about keepers? You see that on the Halo. That move was a keeper. And here goes Mintoki on Fusion. Fusion is struggling.
He definitely is. He's dropping.
Beatnik now in trouble. He got hit by Fusion right there. That ghosted his car. And now we're going to see a neck-and-neck race down the main straight between the McLarens. Beatnik is lagging. Beatnik is lagged out. Beatnik is lagged out. That is detrimental to McLaren's championship hopes right now. They desperately need him back in the session. He is requesting to join. He's received an invite. Penguin gets by. Now Rhythms will get by. Beatnik is dropping like a rock and further, as well as Blonde. Blonde off the road at turn 3 now.
Yeah, he gets
almost
past
300 right in the path of Dylan, yeah.
Oh, Zakaria. And Union around in the wall. Hard.
Union in trouble. You said Zakaria got a piece of it as well. He is now tumbling down the order with major damage on that Aston.
Oh, yeah.
Apologies for not catching that. Wanted to make sure Beatnik had a few invites to spare. Blonde will swoop by. So will Dylan. But this championship race for McLaren has just went topsy-turvy for their sake. And now Mintoki is going to pressure Night Owl. These two had an incident a few seasons ago here. Deja vu to turn 1 once again with these two. Mintoki the long way around, and she'll say redemption for that one as she'll take second place back in this race. And Fusion trying to do it all on his own for McLaren while Beatnik tries to rejoin. Will get the fastest lap for the current time as things stand. And guess who gets by Beatnik? Tadpole and Devin do. Those are some two names who we did not expect to say in the points right now.
No, 7th and 8th. Ahead of the Strucken Beatnik.
Further back, we saw some moves. Blonde and Jackster. Blonde goes ahead. Zakaria's in. He's going to repair that wing. And we'll see where he comes out in terms of his gap to Union, who also was involved in that incident. Beatnik still has not got back control of that car.
No, he hasn't. This is absolutely disappointing stuff.
You've got to think back to Vegas when he had internet issues racing Night Owl. Will this haunt him even worse than that battle? He's falling outside the points now. AJ takes advantage. Beatnik still trying to take control. Penguin gets overtaken down the main straight. Malady 41 on the move down the main straight as well. Here goes AJ. Beautiful.
Indeed, AJ to 10th ahead of EXO.
You've got to wonder, what is causing Beatnik not to take control right now? He has received 2 invites to the session.
He's lost
many
outage?
places. Yeah, Tadpole gets humbled for 7th.
Leon, yes, Devin is going to Tier 2 at the end of
Correct.
this season. Dylan,
Yes,
penalty.
He'll be in V-Carb. That's something to keep an eye out on. Beatnik losing yet another place. This time to Lennon. Now
And
to
Blonde.
Blonde. This is just terrible for the Nevada native. Losing so much time, so much places. And we switch back to 3rd place because Fusion is all over Night Owl. And Night Owl, who lost a place to Mintoki, has to be shivering at this point because he knows, not just for the championship's sake between him and McLaren, but also the podium's sake right now. This is under threat. 3rd place up for grabs. 3rd place is now Lyral Fusions. He takes it, and he will defend it in a turn 1 easily. Here goes AJ, eyeing up a move on Mally 41. Will he catch him napping? No.
No, he did not. Beatnik is saying he is having trouble joining back due to the game.
Oh, Mally 41 penalty. AJ goes through and
Dylan in the
takes
pits.
9th with it.
Beatnik's
Whoa,
game
porpoising
can't even
there,
load
Mally.
in a time trial, and he has given up.
This is utter heartbreak for McLaren. McLaren, who we spoke about, faded in the pre-race show. We spoke about them in the lower tiers. They've not had the success. Part of this season, they didn't have the success at the portion of season 16 where they didn't even win a single race. It took until Monza, where Beatnik won again, even Fusion won again, Blonde won again. It's just drivers winning again in their car when they didn't even have the success until this season. They were in front entering this race for the Constructors' Championship, and right now they're seeing it slip away from them. And there you go, Beatnik is finally back. Mintoki and DRS as well might be coming back for them. They need a safety car, and they could get one with the way we're racing. AJ clear into 8th. So on the original portion of the safety car restart, he was not making any ground up. Now he is, and the 2 Williams are dueling it out.
Oh.
So while AJ had a really quiet safety car restart, since then it's been a complete masterclass with the overtakes, up to 7th.
Beatnik and Blonde Mally and Blonde touching.
A little bang in there between the pair of them, and while Beatnik is back in, he is not fully taken control. I think he's now about to. Yes, he is. Yep. He is. So, like we said, the damage already done. He has lost 15 seconds from this whole ordinary situation.
Half a second the gap, Mintoki and Reese. Reese still has to pit.
How will this shape up things as well with only Fusion for McLaren in the points? Not just in the points, but on a podium place right now. Mintoki eyeing up a move in Reese. Will she go for a bonsai shot at turn 1? She will!
She
to the
will!
inside!
Side by side! Nudge! A nudge!
Didn't affect him, luckily. Didn't affect either one of them. Mintoki in the slipstream. Reese will keep the lead and maintain it into turn 4.
4/10 the gap between them.
And the Senna S faded. You got to think that could have been race ending.
That definitely could have for the both.
Definitely glad it wasn't. That's for sure.
Oh.
Now, not just Night Owl on the back of Fusion, so is Rhythms. Rhythms there, Penguin there.
Rhythms, who's had a pretty quiet race here in the top 5. Tire advantage, actually.
Not sure why George has said Yavuz Tugra retired in the pits. It was on track and it caused the safety car. But Zakaria did. Game over for him.
Yep.
And now Mintoki will reclaim the lead on lap 24 on the lap 25 of the Grand Prix. And what do we got here? Yellows. Jackster off. Or Kimi Räikkönen went off in this race in 2012. And that was Devin getting overtaken. Devin is going into the pit lane.
Get off those medium tires, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta think it wasn't just him. It was Exo. Exo did. And now Night Owl. He was on hards, though, Night Owl was, right?
Yeah.
Surely, yeah. So, game on maybe for Beatnik. 1 place away from the points positions. I mean, at this current time, Ferrari only have a 3-point advantage on McLaren with this current scenario, and that's 2 points ahead. And this would be the correct correct mention, I believe, from Raz. This might be Mintoki's first podium of the season. Very well could be. I think she might have had one in the opening rounds. I'll have to double check. Yeah, just Bahrain for the South. Bahrain and Silverstone reverse.
That's it.
Bahrain, Silverstone reverse, and Monza.
Oh,
That was it. Just the 3. So Reese is in 2. Reese has got it woed down. Fusion in as well. And what compounds are we going to see from those guys? Because we know they are not the only ones who are going to be coming in. Reese and Lero on mediums. The only good thing for Beatnik here is he can stretch this even further, because when he was not in the session, he would have not had tire wear applied. So I wonder if this will allow him to maybe go for softs toward the end. Will it even be worth it? Because softs are not really a race tire in this game, as we saw with Union. But Rhythm's overtaken for second, and Mintoki has got the deficit here to second to really be able to tire save, if that's what she's doing.
Either tire save or maybe cover off and put mediums on.
Just remember, the South Korean driver in RPL Tier 2 has won 3 times. Once in the last 3 seasons. Well, once in the last 3 seasons. Once every time over the last 3 seasons. Her first in Qatar in season 14. Australia season 15. Spa last season. What a great way it would be to cap off Brazil. And we get Union now with Night Owl. Night Owl off the road.
Yeah, that was not ideal. Torn Penguin in the pits.
Here's Union defending. Night Owl trying to go through, but can't. Penguin, you said, is infaded, but right now the focus is for this position, because you could see Lyro Fusion all over the back
3
of
wide.
Night Owl. Here goes Lyro Fusion, 3 wide, as you said it. Contact to turn 1. Lyro Fusion got 1, but couldn't get both. And I think Union was playing the Uno Reverse card on Ferrari Academy here. You saw what Tadpole did earlier to Fusion. He said, well, we can repay the favor. And here goes Fusion to the inside.
Contact.
Almost swipes into the side of Night Owl. As you said, contact. There was a little bit, but not a lot. And Night Owl tried to come back at it, but couldn't. Hard racing, clean racing for the most part here between these guys. But it is Fusion getting the place. And McLaren would win the title if it were to end right now. But remember, there are drivers who are going to stretch this out and not pit, while there's others who will pit. Will Mintoki be one of them? No, she's going to continue to stay out.
You're going to have to. Her lap
if you're her,
still
you
good.
have to. Yes, and so is AJ's. AJ going to second place now in this race. What a great race he's had. Really a career day in Tier 2, safe to say. Remember when he came in and won on debut in Tier 3 and then continued to back it up with more wins, and even Alpine's first Tier 3 podium. This is a really awesome showing for AJ and what could be a first Tier 2 win. Lennon gets passed into turn 1. That's Reese up to 8th because of it. And Beatnik now trying to get former teammate Mally 41. This is not the train Beatnik would want to be stuck in, but Tadpole might do himself a favor.
Indeed. Tadpole up there in 4th. Trying to tire save.
And he's got all Merc Academy cars behind. Beatnik gonna go for a dive to the inside! Side by side with Mally. They were touching for just a moment, but Beatnik had to concede the place in any attempt at this. The desperation is starting to kick in for McLaren here, because they know Reese is closing, Night Owl's closing.
Indeed, 9/10 the gap to Beatnik.
Also the gap between Mintoki and AJ staying very steady there. AJ, Mintoki staying out. Rhythms is in. Rhythms is in. So this opens up the podium place for the race with these guys. Blonde and Tadpole swap. Mally and Beatnik swap now. Can Beatnik get 2 and 1? Will there be a dive bomb approaching turn 1? There will be! Beatnik to the inside!
That
from a long way back.
Was egregious.
Wow, he'll still keep it on the curb and shove right into Tadpole to the side of him. Here's Reese Dainty lurking in the background. Beatnik squeezing now to try to keep 4th place. He will. Tadpole gets shoved on the curb. Yellow. Union.
Reese too.
Reese got caught out, trying to overtake. And you know he's been affected because he's lost almost DRS right there. Now Zakaria. He is out of this race, but he does not want to see the rest of this event.
Not at all.
Reese with a lunge to the inside and Mally 41. Contact made there. Two F1 champions banging it out. Reese will get the place.
That was not so clean.
Bit naughty. Bit naughty. But we love a little dive bomb here and there. AJ staying out. Blonde staying out. I mean, this is just shades of last season in Jeddah. Here goes Reese. Little team orders. Tadpole lets him by.
100%.
But I was just going to say, this is shades of Jeddah last season. Beatnik and Josh were racing for the victory. And then everything else behind where the drivers mess up the strategy. It opened up the podium places to battle. And it's just going to be a race, I think, between Mintoki and AJ to try and stretch this to the end, Faded, as Fusion gets Mally on the overtake down to turn 4. But I got to think this is just simply a race for third at this point. And it could become the victory if they can't make it to the end. We know Fusion is on medium, so is Reese. Night Owl's not, though.
Yeah, and I think Mintoki and AJ at this point could possibly stretch this to the end. It would be
Tadpole
22 laps.
Has put Fusion into a mistake. You can see Fusion losing ground right here, but you got to remember, Night Owl's also in this train too, so you don't want to back it up too far if you're Tadpole, if that's the goal. You don't know what Tadpole's planning here because at this stage, this is the second rodeo of Tadpole and Fusion.
Yeah.
But Fusion gets the help of DRS this time, but it's going to have to wait down to turn 1 to make some noise. Here goes Beatnik and Blonde. Beatnik gets Blonde.
Indeed.
Reese not going to do it.
Yes, he tried.
Oh, there goes Fusion! Off in turn 1 and into the barrier!
Oh, no.
What has happened to the McLaren? Has he had a wheel issue right here? Because this is just further heartbreak to McLaren. First, a lag out for Beatnik, who finally rejoined, but now the question becomes for him, tire management for Beatnik, but for Fusion now, this is major implications. What is happening?
Rhythms gets Fusion too. They're side by side.
Mally and Tadpole are duking it out up there in front, but we're going to keep an eye on Rhythms and Fusion because this is so close! Fusion around the outside. Nice little move to regain the place after losing it a bit ago. Yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers in chat talking about a little bit of a Lando moment there for Fusion, but Blonde now gets defensive and protective for Beatnik. Here goes Reese, trying to overtake, but couldn't. Did Blonde lose a DRS there? He did. So Reese has put him vulnerable. Down to turn 1, no battery to spare for the champion. Reese to the inside, barely had space to do it, but he will get in front while Blonde tries to cut back. No success there. Reese is 4th.
Indeed, and he's gonna be within DRS of Beatnik, but he has no battery.
Here goes Blonde back around the outside. Not going to make anything happen there. Torn Penguin gets Tadpole.
This is madness coming to the last couple laps here.
Only lap 32, and you got to remember, Mintoki and AJ are trying to stretch this to the end. So is Beatnik for the sake of McLaren's constructors' hopes at this point. 15 points Beatnik would have compared to Ferrari on 20, and that would earn them the title if this race were to end at this current moment.
Yeah. 4 to go.
Fusion going to go the long way around. Fusion's going to go the long way around. Fusion, no space there between Lennon and Fusion. Lennon just pinching Fusion. And also, remember this penalty that Mally 41 has. It's going to allow Fusion to get an extra point right now. Now he could take an extra 2. Here goes Fusion trailing Lennon.
Cookie pointing out in the chat saying Lennon might have actually forced Fusion off.
Yeah, but we're going to see if this is going to happen once again. Lennon just continuing to squeeze Fusion.
The prophecy is true.
Night Owl as well on the back of Blonde, trying to get through as well. And look at that. Rhythms off. Rhythms has been affected at turn 3. This has turned into utter chaos to end season 17 of Tier 2. Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, my goodness. As Elbear would say.
Oh, there goes Fusion running on the back of Lennon.
Union fastest lap.
That's outside the points. Remember, that's not going to be a point as well, regardless. But still running fast, still not giving up.
3 to go for Matoki.
Gotta wonder what the state of her tires are. Same with AJ, but this is a really good race from Tokyo. I gotta give her credit. Yeah, it might be, yeah. Night Owl, he's boosting this time. He's trying to get through on Blonde. Blonde going defensive. Night Owl to the inside. Night Owl gets 5th place.
At a Blonde 4-5, so as the live standings stand, Ryan, what does it tell us?
Reese almost tagged B-Nick and almost spun around.
4/10 between those two.
Oh, there they go! Fusion and Lennon in the wall! You just knew it was going to happen. Lennon and Fusion have come to blows. And this is not what you want to see for the sake of McLaren, who's already had issue upon issue during this event.
Things are going to cook after this race. Arguing and tension might come after this race. Make sure these drivers do not have access to the haulers.
Live standings update. Ferrari right now on 22 points from this event. McLaren on 15.
2 to go.
B-Nick does not need to.
Cookie is ordering Fusion to straight line him.
Oh, jeez. 2 to go. Mentoki leads the event. Union with a penalty. Here goes Reese on the button.
Indeed, he's going to be a lot closer to try and mount this podium away.
There goes Union around. Union around.
Uh-oh. I have an idea for the last lap.
Here goes Reese, trying to recharge that battery now. No battery to spare. Beatnik barely has anything left in the tank as well. And, well, Blonde is also going to get a chance at.
Oh,
there
Lennon's
goes Lennon
out.
retiring in the pits. That's done for Lennon. I was going to say, Blonde has a chance of taking a bit more points than anticipated. He wasn't really looking at 6th at the end of this, and neither was it Tadpole in 8th. Mally might keep a point spot here as well.
Rhythms.
With the penalty. A little bit of wheel banging. Rhythms. Oh!
Mentoki coming to the start-finish line. White flag, 1 to go, presented by Credit One Bank.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta talk about her performance besides the Constructors faded, because this race, with all the craziness, she's ran a good one, and all the struggles she's had this season might end up working out in her favor by the end of this. Blonde is in. Blonde has got a right rear puncture. Oh. So now you got to wonder, with 20 laps on those tires, what are the situations going to be like for AJ and Mentoki?
You would have to think the tires are screaming.
Yeah. Reese and Night Owl jockeying around there in the braking zone. The gap now 10 seconds right here between AJ and Mentoki. This right here is why they've kept her around, regardless of the races like Spa, where there were collisions between Beatnik and Mentoki, 2 teammates. And it was 4 seasons ago where she claimed her first win back in Qatar. Now tonight, it's win number 4. Mentoki has won for a 4th consecutive season. She'll grab the 4th win to her name as she wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. AJ equals his best career result with P2 on the road. And as we see 4th and 5th come across the line, DRS flapping, tonight they earn their 3rd title in Tier 2. Ferrari have won the Constructors title for Season 17 in RPL Tier 2. Reese and Night Owl seem to be the unstoppable force that everyone said they would be, and they've earned it. Now, Beatnik gets 3rd, Penguin 6th, Tadpole 7th, Rhythms 8th, Exo with a 9th place finish, and Mally 41 got a point when it was all said and done.
Oh, man. The Tier 2 chat is absolutely going bonkers.
Blonde got a puncture at 80%.
I'm just reading the chat. Fusion saying I did not mean to do that.
I mean, we saw him try to make a move in the braking zone similar to Seb Vettel. Mintoki saying, I want to hear it. You guys have doubted me time and time again, but this is why Mercedes Academy has kept me around. Career win number 4.
Indeed.
Champagne going to be sprayed as well.
On their top, on their perch.
Let's see a little race rundown. Driver of the day, Tadpole. Union fastest lap. Blonde most overtakes. He did have a good overtaking masterclass, but I would say it was AJ who had a better one. Cleanest driver, Blonde. Mintoki race winner. And here are your final results. Tadpole from P16. Exo from P14. Malley for Williams. Good showing there. Rhythms, tier 3 driver as well. Just think at this point, driver of the day is going to have to go to probably Mintoki or AJ.
I'm going to give it to Tadpole, driver of the day.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Tadpole then. Yeah. Here are your full results. I did not get the DNFs. Apologies about that. But yeah, either way, Mintoki has won again, and I think she deserved it. She was basically second a lot of the race, and then when Reese, you could argue, bottled the strategy, but did what he needed to win the title for the constructors. It makes sense.
Indeed.
That Mintoki was going to be the one to come out on top. She's had a very, very poor season, but has finally made up for it with a win at the end of the season. Her first 2 career wins came at round 9, and then it was last season in Spa earlier than anticipated. This season's been one of her worst, but she's come back to make sure it's a win in the end.
Cookie is being delusional, saying he didn't have to hire tier 1 drivers. So in his head, he thinks he won both titles. But you didn't, lad.
Interesting. Well, we know words blowing up there, but in the end, it'll all be figured out when we get to next season. But any final thoughts on this season? I mean, Reese, the driver's champion. We had as well Ferrari constructors champions. Indeed. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, it was a good season. Kind of what I expected, Ferrari being the dominant pairing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what next season provides as well. Season 18 of Tier 2 is coming our way. Tomorrow we'll be racing around Silverstone Reverse for F1. Make sure to tune in then. But until Tier 2, Season 18 approaches us, we are signing off. Good night and goodbye, and thank you for every one bit of it. See you then.
Hooray.